What up, Maniacs? Welcome back to another Friday Sit Rep. We got an excellent rundown for you once again this week, including the latest edition of the Black Hawk. Also, there'll be some information after the episode that you're definitely going to want to hear, so make sure to stick around. Otherwise, let's jump on in. All right, we're kicking things off with the HH-60M Medevac Black Hawk, yet another one in this incredible lineup of helicopters. Dan Siskin, our designer, so we've got him in studio to talk a little bit more about this prototype build. Once again, no stickers, all printed details, functional rescue winch. There's so much to love about this, and we haven't even talked about the sliding doors.
Right. This has a lot going on. Of course, this is the prototype, so the only printed parts you actually see on here are the ones that I stole from some previous Black Hawks. There will be additional additional printing on here, particularly the red, big, iconic red cross
emblems,
on the doors, the nose, under the belly, and of course a printed, fully printed crew. So
Heck yeah.
So new Black Hawk. HH is basically the dust off the rescue, air rescue helicopter, air rescue version. It's a continuation of, if you're thinking like MASH, where they're bringing the patients from the battlefield to the field hospital. This is the same thing. It's just a modern version of that rescue helicopter. Same thing. These have been Vietnam. It's been a part of the Army, battlefield since the Korean War. Actually, the sooner you get a casualty to the operating room, the more likely they're going to survive. So if you can get somebody from wounded to operating room within an hour, I think it increases their chance of living just like magnitudes.
Yeah, right.
So that's what this is. This is a crucial part of that. Very specialized version of the Black Hawk. You do have it does have a flare on the nose, which will help in get you to your patient.
Your coordinates, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
As soon as possible, you want to be able to see in all weather, all combat. If there's smoke, whatever, you want to be able to cut through that forward-looking infrared will really help the pilots get to where they need to go. You may notice there's no windows on this thing.
Yeah, it looks very shelled.
Right, and that's completely intentional. They don't want to have open windows. They don't want to have open doors when this thing's flying in and out with a patient, because you don't want to contaminate any wounds with dust and debris that this helicopter will inevitably kick up.
Right.
Which leaves you that bubble here. There's actually, on these helicopters, one of the most common questions I get asked when I'm working on these things is what's the deal with the bubbles on the windscreens, on the doors, and that is just to allow the crew chief or the medical. The medic that's on there to look down without actually having to open that door.
That's really incredible, because it's like you think about it, you're like, that's really strange looking, and then you hear their function, you're like, well, duh.
Yeah,
you need to be able to look down out of the helicopter to see who's on the ground.
It's just an acrylic bubble that replaces the normal window that's there. So.
Very, very smart.
So it does have all the normal features you'd expect on the Black Hawk: opening doors for both the pilots and the crew compartment. So I'll just demonstrate. This does have a sliding door, so it's sort of a continuation of the last Black Hawk I did. Every one of these new helicopters has some sort of added new feature to it. I'm trying to get to the point where they're all 100% perfect, but it's generations.
It's an evolution. Yep, absolutely.
So it does have opening doors.
Looks like some brick-built stretchers as well.
Right. This thing, it actually, in the real life, it has all sorts of medical equipment in it, and it has 4 stretcher slabs. Basically, it's like a tray that slides. If you're at you can put the patient in the front of the helicopter, in this part of the helicopter here.
Yep.
But to get them in there, you have to kind of either shove them in there. So to fix that, they actually have a sliding tray that comes out.
Sure.
You put the stretcher on it, then that whole thing just goes back in. Of course, we can't fit that all in Lego. So
the mechanism, right.
You can do it. You can move the stretchers around in there, but it's brick.
Yeah.
That'll be the next evolution. I'll have the sliding. I don't think that's possible.
Still cool to have it represented, though.
Right, and you can actually fit 4 minifigures in here. I have a ninja on one of the stretchers right now. So.
Awesome.
So you can fit 4 patients in there. It does have the seats for the crew chief and the medic, and they are adjustable. So you can actually change the position just like in the real helicopters.
Sweet.
So
configure your own, well, not cockpit, I suppose, but your own cargo hold.
Yeah, it's the cargo bay or whatever you want to call it, the back here. But you can move the seats around. They can move them closer or further away from the patients as needed.
Yeah, depending on the attention, I suppose.
Right, and they can also take out some of the stretchers. They can have up to 4. Typically, you'll have four bays in there, but you can actually make it so there's 2. You can reconfigure it.
Cool.
Yeah, and this is just the same sort of thing. You can do it with your helicopter. So. So the I actually modeled this after Minnesota National Guard helicopters. And,
Okay.
I was going to put a Minnesota the emblem of the Guard on the door. I was like, well, you know what? This is like so kind of ubiquitous for all over the country. And this one in particular, the modeling the crew is going to be modeled after a particular helicopter that's all female crew.
Yeah, right. Women's History Month is obviously what it's coming out in theme
It's coming
for,
out
so
March,
very well done.
it'll be one of the few helicopters of this type that has a full female crew. All the pilots, the medic, everybody's. So that'll be in this one. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah,
so that's in the
really
works
neat.
now. So obviously I don't have the figures. You'll have to wait till the kit is actually released.
But right away in March, it'll be exciting to see, and obviously you'll be able to check the renders out on brickmania.com.
Yeah. So first batch, just 50. It's all
Okay.
we can fit in the schedule. These are all handmade, so I would wish we could say, hey, we're going to make it 100 right off the bat, but there's just too many things that we need to catch up.
They're
Too
big
many other
kits.
releases coming out this week.
So there you have it, the newest addition to the Blackhawk lineup, the Medevac edition. Definitely a lot of cool play features and obviously all that printing. Make sure to check that out on brickmania.com. Dan, thanks for checking in.
Hey, my pleasure.
All right, and next up on our pre-orders, we have the Electra 10E, which was Amelia Earhart's aircraft of ill fate. Mary Wilson was our project manager for this Andrea, you know him as Jostin 11 model. Tell me a little bit more about this build. Fully printed, love to hear that.
Yes, fully printed, no stickers on this one. This is a very cool build. I was very excited to be able to help work on this one. I'm just going to go through printing first.
Yeah,
That's a good
sounds
place
good.
to start. So her numbering is like all the way across this. So I think it's a total of 7 printed parts for the numbering.
Just for the wings, wow.
Yeah, it's going to look really clean. And then on the tail, there's both the Lockheed logo as well as her numbers on either side there. So it's fully printed tail. That's also going to look really clean. I'm excited for that. There's this like top hatch that you can use to enter the cockpit. So that's got a little bit of detail on there. You can open that up, but then also this whole roof can pop off pretty easily. So then you can access it and put up to 2 minifigs fit in there.
Nice.
Because this model, well, in real life, it was edited, so she had a whole bunch of fuel in it and no longer needed the passenger space. So in the back here, it's represented with all these grill tiles. There's this photo of her kind of climbing over it because I think there's a bathroom in the back, and there's other storage things, but the fuel is all right in the middle. So I'm pretty sure they had to climb over all of the fuel in order to get through. There's a lot of photos of her in it and around it because it's very much like publicity, this whole trip. For Lockheed, but also for her because she was an author and wrote about everything she did. So honestly, look those up. I really, really liked all of her model shots in front of it was just really cool to see her so excited and just a badass pilot
Right,
in front of her plane.
explorer glamour shots.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
Other than that, so this has functional landing gear. So this is actually a really smooth way to do it. He just has a tile that you can push one way to lock it in and then push out to
Oh, that is
close
slick.
that,
Yeah.
which is really nice. I think it's a really simple way to do it, but it works really, really well.
Simple and functional, or
Yeah.
music to people's ears.
No, for sure. Other than that, there's the door in the back, which is the main way into the plane, and then there's some more detail in there, which you'll get to see. He's got things representing the life jackets they had, and more specific items that we know that they took on their plane trip. And overall, the build is it's really fun. It's got this strong Technic interior, which
Gives it the dihedral look to it.
yeah, right. And I think it's really smooth. It looks good. It's also one of those models that you have to hold as you build, which is normally I'm okay, this is fun, this is good, and this one you're holding this plane for maybe 2 hours as you build this
Oh,
thing.
dang.
I mean, it took me a while too because I was finding pieces, and
Yep.
it's a little bit different when you're test building it versus when you get the instructions.
Sure.
But it's kind of fun to be yeah, this is you're working on
Watching
it.
it come together in your hand.
Yeah, especially because the way that the wings are built, you really have to build both wings together, and then you just build off of the wings to build the fuselage and everything else.
Cool.
So it's kind of fun. Also, I'm just very excited to have Amelia Earhart as kind of kicking off Women's History Month. Just her background, and she actually learned how to fly from another a female pilot, which is cool, and a Jenny, which is another model that Andrea brought to Brickmania. So that's kind of cool bringing it back. And then she also just overall was like really involved in like female aviation and like promoting that. She was part of the 99s, like the first president of that. So I just think it's really cool to like honor her with this kit and just like good kickoff to the month. So.
Well, and it's cool too that like obviously people think about her as a pioneer aviator, but there were so many other things that came with that you kind of learn about as you dive into her history. That really made her who she was. And as you said, an excellent candidate to kick off this month with. So there you have it, the Electra 10E available on pre-order right now on brickmania.com. Mary, thanks for checking in. Okay, and as a straight up new release on brickmania.com, we got a nice little combo here for Desert Storm. We have the Chairman, which is the minifigure, and then also a Desert Storm Humvee. So both of these sold separately, but they go nicely together. So we have Mary and Landon in studio to talk a little bit more about these. Where do you want to start, guys?
Sure, I'll start with the kit.
Sounds good.
This is my first Humvee. It kind of seems like a rite of passage to make a Humvee here at
No
Brickmania. But this is essentially the most basic Humvee you're going to find. So this model, it's 4 doors. This essentially is kind of a hard cap that you can just like add on top. So this model is representing, this is like a fabric cover, but it's more permanent than this back fabric cover, which is interesting. So you'll see this setup, but without this one too. So that's why it's like 2 different materials, because this one is a little bit more permanent in this case, and this one's a little bit more temporary. It fits 4 minifigs seated in the front, and then there's also room for storage or other minifigs in the back. It also has all the other like prints and details that the Humvees do, so like those details on the door. And then we have the new canvas cover for that. This one also, like, it's before the armored doors and everything, so it's a little bit more basic, but it's also something, because it doesn't come with figs, something that I see really is like you're gonna buy a few of them to like add to your Humvee assembly. Just it's one of those like more affordable price points too, because it's like very basic. So yeah, that's bringing my view on the Humvee, I guess.
Yeah, kind of the convoy edition of it, which goes nicely, especially if you're protecting, maybe a VIP with said convoy. And that would be where the chairman, the chancellor,
Absolutely.
comes into play. Obviously, we can clock that awesome 3D and UV printed hat right off the bat.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about this fig.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the first thing that stands out to me, I'm a camo nerd, would be this 6-color desert camouflage. They refer to it as chocolate chip camo. It's got little chocolate chip looking pieces on there, I guess. But yeah, I should mention that we're also restocking a bunch of other themed, Desert Storm figures in the same theme. So pick up a bunch of those, pick up one of these guys as well, kind of the VIP for the convoy. Pick up a bunch of kits too, why not? I don't know, do that, that'd be awesome. Uniform, I do like the simple uniform. We got the 4 pockets on the front, some big expanding pockets on the cargo pants there. And then, again, it's sort of that transitional era from Vietnam into a desert conflict. So we do see the jungle boots on this minifigure. And then later on in the war, you saw more and more soldiers receiving their desert boots. Jungle boots, it's kind of the wrong coloration, but they were a lot more breathable than the the full leather combat boots that they also had option to. And those would just, you'd be super warm in the desert with that. So, but yeah, back to the 3D printed hat. That's again iconic of that era. That along with like a boonie hat is like 2 of the things you'd see a ton of kind of during a Desert Storm. Again with that 6-color desert camo on top. We're working with different materials here, so it's 3D printed versus our injection molded minifigure. So our coloration, the base color, is a little bit different. So we had to kind of play around with some camouflage schemes, but I think it captures that desert camouflage look pretty nicely. So I'm happy with I guess this first iteration of that. So yeah.
There you have it, the Chairman and the Desert Storm Humvee. Go pick them up because Mary and Lando said so. All right, that'll just about do it for a Friday sit rep. But like I said, I've got some information that I think you guys are going to want to know, and that is that we are kicking off our President's Day sale come Monday. It's going to be 15% off site-wide and in retail stores as well. Pre-orders excluded. Some exclusions apply also when it comes to some reseller stuff in our retail locations. But the vast majority of everything going on is going to be 15% off. We will release that code come Monday. As you guys have probably seen, brickmania.com is loaded up with stock, so this is going to be a great chance to take advantage. And there's also a couple that are trickling down to 1s and 2s left on the site as well. So maybe if you you've got your eye on one, you wake up a little early on Monday to pull the trigger on that before someone else gets it 15% off. So that'll start on Monday, 8 a.m. along with the email, etc. Stay tuned for that code, 15% off. We'll run that, I believe, through President's Day, from Monday through President's Day. So stay tuned for more details there. Also, hashtag giveaway is still going strong on social media. Just use hashtag Brickmania and then a hashtag that correlates with that month's theme, and you're entered for a chance to win an awesome t-shirt, which those have been sent off to print. So I'm hoping to have a physical copy to showcase to you guys very, very soon, and then we'll get those out to this year's winners as well. And then finally, Vallejo, California, San Diego, California, the Miramar and Mare Island locations, hoping to have soft openings here, within the next week and a half, something like that or so. And then we will be able to release our grand opening dates once we're able to set some stuff after that. So we are hoping to have the whole crew out there. We'll have Dan, Landon, Mary, whoever else is able to go. We'll get people out to those locations, shake hands, show off some cool stuff. Hopefully have some Lando Randos, maybe some exclusive bricks, t-shirts, all that kind of fun stuff. But we want to do it big because we are very excited for both of these locations. So we hope that you guys are able to come check that out. Make sure to stay tuned to both the store's social media and our social media to keep a closer eye on exactly when that stuff is going down and how much fun it is going to be. So that will do it for the Friday Sit Rep. Thank you very much for watching.